Hey guys, going live from my car. I was pondering and I was starting to think Donald Trump, he is so effective. You guys, the veto cannot be overturned. Building the wall continues. This is amazing. You guys, there are tons of people who say that Donald Trump, as a Christian, he's terrible. He's not a good model as a Christian. Can we all agree that Donald Trump is a baby Christian? He's growing in the faith. But can we also agree that Donald Trump has done more for Christianity than anyone else that I can name in the last few decades? Donald Trump is impactful. Christians who are involved in politics, I believe, create more change. Let me tell you why. Take, for instance, what do most Christians do? They go to church and they do not proclaim their faith. They keep their faith to themselves. A Christian who is involved in politics, everyone is fully aware of those Christians' beliefs, especially when that Christian espouses his beliefs and he is doing it on a public platform for the whole world to hear about Christianity. It makes more of an impact. Look at what Donald Trump is doing. He is more impactful than any Christian pastor that you can think of today. Who is more popular in this entire world than our president, Donald Trump? Who's more effective? Who creates change? Who seems to stir the hearts of the people in the United States and abroad? Donald Trump and his beliefs. We are fortunate that Donald Trump subscribes to the Christian ideology, to the Christian faith. We are extremely fortunate. Donald Trump is winning, not only because of him, but because he proclaims Christ and he does it unapologetically and he is unashamed. And it really does bug me when you have tons of Christians. They say, well, I'm going to be passive on this. I don't believe Christians should get involved in politics. Let me just tell you something. Stay away from these cowards. They're cowards. They don't want to be a light, or they don't want to be that city on the hill. They do not want to be salty, to preserve culture, to influence culture. That's what we are definitely called to do. So if you want to influence culture and you are a complete diehard Christian, don't you think that if you really wanted to make the greatest impact that you should get involved in politics? People say, well, politics is not where Christians should be. That's not a Christian arena. Who told you that? Did God create everything? Politics comes from God. Government comes from God. He created it all. It all is under his rule and authority, is it not? Because Christians have stepped out of the light and decided to be passive and to stay in the dark. Look at the entropy, the moral decadence, the lack of human decency and common courtesy that is plaguing the nation and the globe entirely. Even third world countries consider American Christians to be cowards because these people are suffering massive persecution, when in comparison to what us Christians have to deal with in the United States is nothing. So if you believe, because you're a Christian, that you shouldn't get involved in politics, I'm going to tell you that you are wrong. You have settled for a passive ideology. And the person will say, well, Christ never got involved in politics. Christ was involved in politics. He was called the King of the Jews. He was called Son of Man. It's called Emmanuel, the King of Kings, the Prince of Peace. Remember, Jesus himself told Pontius Pilate, the only authority you have is what comes from above. And it was given to you. Pontius Pilate was a political figure. Herod was a political figure. God has always wanted the hearts of rulers. He's always wanted those hearts because he's an impartial God. So he wants everyone's heart. So you mean to tell me he doesn't want the heart of a person who is a president? A person who is a vice president? Secretary of State, Speaker of House? Attorney General? Etc.? You mean to tell me he doesn't want these people's hearts? God wants the heart of all men. So why do we keep settling for this? There's this passive, coward Christianity that says to shut your mouth and keep your Christianity to yourself, not to be a beacon of light. Don't let your light shine. Do not be the salt of the earth. No. Everyone must give an account for the hope that is in them. And you must shout and proclaim your faith from the rooftops, from the mountaintops, and etc. Let everyone know who your God is. Be bold. Proclaim the gospel in and out of season, when it's favorable and unfavorable. Christians, stand up. Be on fire. Proclaim Christ everywhere you go. I can't wait for the day where I can get involved in politics, where I can actually run. I'm cleaning up everything from my past. Not because I'm ashamed of it, but to show and to demonstrate that Jesus Christ can change anyone's heart. That Jesus Christ can make me a model citizen. And then also, I'm 100% transparent of my past. And it's that Jesus Christ can conquer and his love can conquer a multitude of sins. And he can take anyone and transform them. It's called having a testimony. And a lot of Christians are not sharing the hope that is in them. They refuse to share their testimony. They believe the only time you're supposed to proclaim Christ is in a church. God doesn't care about a building. He resides in us. We are the temple. So be bold, Christians. Stop being timid and passive. And start being cubs of the Lion of Judah. Be meek. You guys, we can change the entire landscape. It doesn't have to be a whole entire revival. Only a bold few can change the landscape. There were tons of people that told Martin Luther King Jr., what are you doing? You're foolish. You're crazy. You're going to get yourself killed. No, but Martin Luther King Jr. believed in the promises of Jesus Christ. And he changed the entire globe. Jesus Christ changed the entire globe. Why can't you? Why do you allow people's opinion about you to render you ineffective and insufficient, and for you to minimize your own self and to doubt your own abilities and your own gifts that God has given you? Stop listening to a victim's and also a loser's belief system. or their appeals or their rhetoric or their talking points. And start listening to those Christians who are effective, who takes on culture, and they do not yield. And they stand firm on the word of God. And they preach that Bible fully, without compromise. This is Christian Duran signing off. God bless you all.